We're here with the founders of the Conscious Outfit, Casey and Joanne. Their mission is to create more awareness or to create awareness around sustainable fashion. So, ladies, thank you for being
Thank you
here.
so much.
Yes, I love your studio with your vintage clothing. So, tell me, how did you two come together to create this business?
Sure. Casey and I met through a mutual friend, and we both had been in fashion and kind of just really figuring out our place in the industry. And we were learning more about the waste and the exploitation of resources and people in the garment industry. And we just kind of felt like it wasn't in line with our values. And so we just put our skill set together really and thought about what can we do that, we can make a contribution in this area and feel good about ourselves. And we've always been into vintage and estate sailing and thrifting and upcycling, and we just thought this was something that we could bring to the masses, help them learn about the industry and why it's important now more so than ever to be sustainable, preserve our environment, preserve our resources. And there's a lot of spotlight on the fashion industry right now just because of the huge exploitation in this unregulated industry. So times are changing, and we kind of just felt like for us to be in the industry and just be learning about it, there's probably so many people that are not aware. So we've set out to create awareness and then also offer resources, because not everybody wants to go estate sailing or thrifting or can sew or embroider to mend or upcycle. So we just thought we can do all of that. We can source for people. You can come here and, shop, or you can even rent if you like. We do a lot of upcycling and mending. So I kind of just like to say, save the clothes. So that's kind of like, there's this motto from Remake, which is a program that helps also create awareness, and they say, wear your values. So we like to say, wear your values,
Shop your
and
values.
shop your values. And, really our mission is to create awareness and, bring what we have already in use to people.
Well, I was one of those people that was not aware of what was going on. I've been in the fashion industry for 20 years as a model. And during quarantine, I subscribed to Vogue and different publications, and they kept talking about sustainable fashion, sustainable fashion. So if you could give, there's so much going on with fashion. If you can give me like three outliers or three facts that are going on in fashion in terms of hurting our environment, what would be those three top facts for you?
Sure. Do you want to go ahead and
Yeah,
answer?
well, I would say the first thing is for sure that the average American throws out over 80 pounds of apparel each year. So if you think about that, that's more than twice as much as the average European. And that's an easy place to make change for each person, right? I would think the other thing is, clearly that's a huge piece of the environmental impact, but also thinking about the fibers within our clothes. Natural fibers have the ability to break down because they are natural, but most of our clothing in this day and age is made of synthetic fibers. And also in the fact that it does pollute, there's also oil in our clothes. So thinking about what you're putting on your body. And for a third, gosh, there's so many.
Yes, like she said, overconsumption is a huge problem. So quick things that you can do is really just don't buy things because they're cheap and on sale. Because one thing to keep in mind is somebody somewhere is paying for it. And ultimately, it's the garment worker. The garment worker is the one taking that hit for you buying your cheap clothes, because they're the ones that are working extra long hours and not making minimum wage. And if a clothing company does great or a brand does great, the people that, are compensated are the CEOs or the shareholders. So it's like every time you say, oh, that's so cheap, I'm just going to buy it, even if you might not need it or wear it. This is like our way of using our purchasing power to say, I reject what you're doing. I reject the over manufacturing of products, which leads to the overconsumption of products, and then the amount of water that it takes for all of this. So if you want to think about your carbon footprint, you have to think about the way that you dress, the how much clothing you buy, the quality of the clothing. Like Casey said, the fabric content is important because synthetic fibers won't break down. So right now, all of our extra clothing sits in landfills in third world countries, and at some point, we're going to have to house our remnants here, our leftover stuff here. So it's like we're making too many clothes. They don't break down. They're sitting in landfills. And it's just a very easy supply and demand issue, but it's not profitable. It's like they want to make more and sell more and then come out with trends 12 times a year to say that your clothes are outdated and that you need new ones to continue perpetuating this cycle that's not working for anybody except for the bottom line for CEOs and corporations and shareholders.
And if that t-shirt was $3, you think about, what did that garment worker make? So yeah, people, the environment, and then
we have to think about people, the environment.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you brought up people, because I actually did watch that True Cost documentary
that
you all recommended, and I saw the conditions of the workers in Bangladesh and how, 1,000 workers died because of poor conditions. And so forth. So when you think about this fast fashion, as you mentioned, if you're buying a garment for $10, imagine, the process that it took to get there, and the work conditions.
Right. And like Joanne said, I mean, when, both of us have been in the industry for over 20 years. And when I first got into it, the designers I was working for were doing 2 collections a year. Now you go into most retail stores and they do a new collection every 1 to 6 weeks. It just depends on the brand. So there's just so much more production. And again, prices have gone down, but the pay is not comparable for the employees.
So Casey, Joanne, thank you so much for sitting with us, for your movement in terms of educating us on sustainable fashion. And is there anything that you would want to leave with the audience? Any last words?
Yeah, I would just tell them, not to be afraid of the unknown. If you're not sure what's going on, you're always welcome to stop by for a private appointment, see what we're doing. Our membership rates start at $40 a month. And like Casey said, we will shop for you and style you. And that's stuff that people charge like $150 an hour for. So it's like, once you're a member, we know what you like. We shop for you. We can incorporate clothing that you already own. Like, of course, every business, their goal is to be profitable, but we're really, truly passionate about the movement. So we want to just help as many people as we can. And we want to be, we want to be able to be approachable and reach them. So it's not, high-end designer. We have stuff for everybody. If you just like workout clothes, we have workout clothes.
Casual evening gowns, we've got it all.
Yes. So we just really want people to be aware and do a little part, whatever little part you can to help.
Yeah.
And we really appreciate you reaching out to us. And we've really enjoyed meeting you and all the girls at the Academy. Thank you so much.
Thank you.